Thursday, October 16th, and welcome to the Just Baseball Show. I'm Peter Apple, that's Ryan Finkelstein, and we are here to break down some great baseball games. Dodgers, Brewers, Game 3, Blue Jays, Mariners, Game 4. I'm already messing up the teams. It's late at night here on Thursday. Thank you all for joining us on YouTube. And then, of course, we're going to preview tomorrow's games, and it's all brought to us by the sportsbook Born in Vegas. Remember, folks, download BetMGM, whether it be on iOS or Android, and use promo code JustBaseball. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first wager loses. Just remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. Blue Jays Mariners has given us one good game. And it's crazy because this series is so fascinating. You have a Mariners offense and a Mariners starting rotation and a Mariners bullpen that on paper is better than the Blue Jays, but nobody has made more contact. Nobody had a higher batting average this season. Nobody had a higher on-base percentage. And we see what happens when their offense gets going. Unfortunately, we just never get when both teams are getting going. It's either a blowout on either side, but it is 2-2. And on the other side, Brewers versus Dodgers has been mildly competitive.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, it's funny. You're reminding me now of the NLCS last year, where every Dodgers-Mets game I watched was a blowout. The Mets had a couple blowout wins, but then they weren't close in any of the games the Dodgers won. And those aren't the most fun series to watch, but if one of these series is going the distance, it's obviously this one because the Dodgers seem to have the other one on lock.
Yeah, it does seem like that. But we will preview, of course, those two games after we recap the games that were on, again, this Thursday night. Let's start with the Dodger game because I think that'll be a little bit quicker, and then we'll get into a longer conversation about Blue Jays Mariners as Toronto tied up the series with a win. But we'll start Game 3. Dodgers win 3-1. Off early and running. Shohei hit a leadoff triple, and Mookie Betts doubled him in for the game's first run. The Brewers would answer right back in the second as Caleb Durbin tripled, and then Jake Bauers drove him in with an RBI single, but that would be it for Milwaukee. As Tyler Glasnow no-hit the Brewers after the second inning, finishing the day with 8 strikeouts, over 5 2/3 with 3 hits and 1 run allowed. Trust circle here, real quick, Fink. I took Tyler Glasnow under 3.5 hits allowed at plus 132. I thought it was dead. He gave up 3 hits in 2 innings, and one of them was a little dribbler to Christian Yelich, and I'm thinking to myself, did I just buy too much into the shadows? Nearly 4 no-hit innings after that. The Discord was going crazy. If you want to join the Discord, of course, you can find that link in the episode description. Best baseball group chat in the world, but let's continue. Dodgers finally got to Jacob Misiorowski in the 6th as Tommy Edman hit a clutch RBI single to take the lead, and then Abner Uribe tried to pick him off and threw it wide to first, allowing Freddie Freeman to scamper home, and that was all they needed. But shout out Jacob Misiorowski. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and also shout out the Dodgers bullpen. What if they're getting hot? Oh no, they shut the door. Vesia getting the win. Trinan and Bonda held it down before handing it off to Roki for the save. Dodgers bullpen went 3 1/3, allowing just 1 hit, no runs, striking out 4. Fink, the Brewers have 9 hits through the first 3 games of the series.
It's crazy, man.
That's tied for the lowest in a playoff series in MLB history. No. Let me say that again. In MLB history. And they are tied with the 1906 White Sox. That comes to us from our brilliant Twitter team. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter. Dodgers have now won 12 of their last 14 playoff games dating back to last year. Dodgers starters have allowed 10 earned runs in 58 1/3 innings this postseason. I'm laughing reading the stat. That's a 1.54 ERA. Only positive for Milwaukee here. Jackson Chourio left the game in the middle of an AB holding his hamstring. The positive is just a cramp. He's going to be back for game 4. I didn't really segue that correctly. I guess that's not a...
The only positive is the guy with the hamstring injury left the game, but you're right. That is a positive that he should be able to get back in. This series, man, and just watching the Dodgers throughout this postseason, it's like the biggest, how did we all not see this coming?
Wow.
Every single... Well, I know you saw it coming. I know you saw it.
I have a mountain of money on the Dodgers to win the World Series, and I came at the beginning of the playoffs being like, hey, is anybody listening? They're way better than everybody else. Not just better. The Brewers are a great team. They're a great team.
Yeah, they are.
The Phillies, you saw them all year. A great team. Beat them in 4. Now they're going for the sweep. They're just playing on a different level than anybody.
Well, Peter, let me just, I know you're going to love this. Let me just feed into your ego because you were the only one that was right. The only one. And I'll tell you, for every single month, we updated our power rankings for just baseball. And the Dodgers, after the beginning of the season, they were never at the top of the list. And I think in every single time where I was specifically writing the Dodgers part of the write-up, I said, I don't know how at the end of the season, we're still not going to put the Dodgers number 1 going into the playoffs. I wrote that time and again. And then when it actually came time to do what I was saying all year long, we put the Dodgers 4th. And it was absolutely idiotic. And they clearly are the best team. And it's going to take, I think at this point, clearly one of the American League teams playing the perfect series to stop them from being back-to-back champs. What they have set up all year by just, having Glass now and Snell, just take your time. We just need you ready in October. And now this rotation is unbelievable. It's absolutely insane. And Peter was right the whole time. And we are all just, we should have been tuning in and listening.
Well, to be fair to you, when you do the power rankings, you're basing them on what's happening during the regular season.
Yeah.
The Dodgers were not even the betting favorite to win the World Series going into it. The Mariners were. And who knows? Maybe the Mariners can still win it. Even though it's 2-2, of course, we'll talk about that series. But the reason that you had them there, and correctly so during the regular season, was their 5 through 9 in the lineup was nowhere close to what it is here. It was Michael Conforto. It was Haesung Kim. It was Andy Pages hitting 5th. Now Andy Pages hits 9th. Kike Hernandez is the greatest 8th hitter in playoff history. You have Max Muncy hitting in the 7 hole. Max Muncy, through parts of the Dodgers lineup this year, was hitting in like the 4 hole, the 5 hole. Like these were guys in the middle of the lineup. Now they can push back. Tommy Edman, NLCS MVP, is hitting in the 6 hole. They have a healthy Will Smith back. They're just overwhelming. And when their starters are performing like this, even though I have a mountain of money on them to win the World Series, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
And it's maybe... I just have so much respect for the Phillies. I have so much respect for the Brewers. And I almost can't believe what I'm watching, even though I predicted it. Does that make sense? Where it's such utter domination. Like, I haven't seen the Brewers get dominated like this. I mean,
all season.
Dating back to last season, even that series that the Mets took it. That was a competitive, great series. And then the Mets went toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, took them to 6 games. Like, the Brewers won 97 games. They had a better run differential than the Dodgers. But what we see now is a team that also plays with such a haunting energy. That's the way I like to say it. Because we talk about the Blue Jays. They need something to get mad at. They were mad at the Yankees, and they had this offensive explosion. They go down 2 runs. They play with this edge. The Dodgers play like this is a Wednesday series in May, which should be even more terrifying because they're just having fun out there. They're just enjoying the ballpark. They're like one of the fans who brings their kids and just wants to watch a good baseball game. They're just along for the ride. Shohei Ohtani hit the triple to start the game, and I'm thinking about it. All right, they won. Because, that's all they need. They just need him to be pretty good, and then they'll win easily. And that's exactly what happened tonight. The offense didn't even show up. Mizorowski was painting 102 miles an hour in the shadows, and he held them down for a little bit. Not even his whole start, just a little bit. And once Tyler Glasnow got those shadows, the Brewers went to bed. And then if you're telling me the Dodgers bullpen is closing the game, What do we say?
That's the one thing is when you see you have a chance, right? When there was enough real estate in that game for the Brewers to get a couple of innings off that Dodgers bullpen, like, all right, maybe, just maybe there was a close enough game that they could come back into it. But all of a sudden, like Blake Trinan kind of looks good again. Like all of a sudden it's starting to fall into place. You know, who would have thought Roki Sasaki, the closer, would be a thing where now it's like, oh yeah, he's going to be nails in the ninth. Don't worry about that. The one thing I'll say when it comes to the Brewers in this game, for one, can we stop getting, I mean, they might not have another opportunity, but getting cute with the opener, like Jacob Mizorowski, if he starts that game, maybe there's not a run on the board, right? That's one, you know, those are just the little things. And then you give up a run on an errant pickoff there. Like you have to be perfect. And they were not perfect in their decision-making and then a little bit in the execution, but they only scored one run, so it doesn't really matter. But those are just a couple things you can point to.
So I'm fine with an opener. I'm not fine with the same opener over and over and over again. How many times now has Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith, or Teoscar Hernandez occasionally when he's hitting third, or however they make the lineup, how many times have they seen Aaron Ashby at this point?
Yeah.
And we know how good the Dodgers offense is. Why isn't Jared Koenig the opener? If you want a lefty, Koenig has been great all season long. Now, I think Ashby has better stuff, and that's why I think Pat Murphy is relying on him. But Koenig is a dog. I thought Koenig was one of the better left-handed relievers in baseball this year. He's also more rested than Aaron Ashby is. If you're going to do that, don't just keep putting the same opener out there. You don't think a lineup like with Shohei and Mookie and Freddie, they're not going to start to be like, all right, this is how we hit Aaron Ashby. And then you're automatically down, takes the air out of that team. Because it's like, what are they supposed to do? You're down to the Dodgers with Tyler Glasnow on the mound, who is throwing fuzzballs, who coming into the game, the Brewers were hitting 141 against him in 79 career plate appearances. They were 10 for 71, Fink. What are you supposed to do? How would you feel in the dugout knowing you're staring down a 6'6" stallion throwing 97-mile-an-hour sinkers with a breaking ball moving 4 feet in Dodger Stadium with that offense on the other side? And Mookie Betts, dude. I can't believe how good of an athlete this guy is. That play that he made at the end of the game. This guy, he's bowling 300. He's probably a scratch golfer. I think he could probably dunk. He could probably go for 5 catches for 60 yards. He could do exactly what T. Higgins did tonight for the Bengals. 5 catches for 68 yards if he wanted to. He, by the numbers, he's a Gold Glove finalist. Deservedly so. One of the league leaders in defensive runs saved, outs above average. Pick your favorite defensive stat. He was up there at shortstop. And then he made that jump throw and the perfect bounce to Freddie Freeman. I laughed at my TV when I watched that play. I'm not even in awe anymore. I'm like, these guys are playing a different game.
Even Max Muncy cutting down that run at the plate. It's like they're seasoned in the playoffs. They know this is their time of year. It's like watching the basketball team that coasts through the regular season and then turns it on in the playoffs. You know, they know they're going to be there and they have the most talent. And it's absolutely, we are in the middle of a dynasty. We're witnessing it. It's not like the Dodgers are going anywhere anytime soon. They are rolling out this rotation. Like if you think about you're a Brewers hitter, it's like, all right, we got to get back in this series. And you've been blanked by Snell and Yamamoto. It's like, all right, let's try our chances at Glasnow tonight. And Ohtani's going tomorrow. Like it's just it's insane. It's insane what they have.
Ohtani has as good of a stuff as any of the pitchers that have gone so far. I mean, he's Shohei Ohtani at Dodger Stadium.
They could have pulled Ohtani out of this series though, and still and I mean, it's not like he's done much.
Better. They might be doing better. Who knows? Because they probably would have put in like Haesung Kim, who might have more hits than like. It's unbelievable. Can I read you some numbers that are concerning to me? And I know we've already talked about the Dodgers pitching, and Dodgers pitching has been great, but the Brewers are great too. They are. I'm not just going to give them a pass and say, oh, it's the Dodgers. It's okay. Christian Yelich, who's hitting 200 with a 527 OPS. Andrew Vaughn has completely dropped off. William Contreras hitting 200. Bryce Terang What an incredible year. What a disappointing playoff run from you. 125 average, 402 OPS. Sal Frelick makes all the contact in the world. Kind of a glue guy for the Brewers, sitting 185. I can't have the offense be Jackson Chourio, Caleb Durbin, and whenever Jake Bauers gets to play. You're not going to beat the Dodgers like that. And really, I'm putting all of my focus on Yelich. This is your team. I know Jackson Chourio is the up-and-coming star. I know William Contreras is the backstop and one of the best in baseball. But this is your team. And some of the at-bats that he's had, it's like, all right, I guess we're just skipping you in the lineup. You're not even a guy, and in the, I think it was getting into the 6th inning, and Glasnow was at like 90-ish pitches. Normally, you're Christian Yelich. Glasnow has gone 5 1/3. He just got out Contreras. I don't care if he's rolling. If you're Christian Yelich, they're bringing in a lefty to face you. What does Dave Roberts do? We're good. Go get him. And what does he do? Absolutely nothing. Now, if he didn't walk the next batter, and then another lefty came up, and that's when he brought him in. But I thought that was so telling. That's what the Dodgers think of Christian Yelich right now. You are not a guy that we have to game plan around. We're just going to go after you and see what you can do. And he's done absolutely nothing. I'm really disappointed. I mean, obviously, I'm pulling for the Dodgers with my bets, but I really am pulling for great baseball. I want to see somebody go up against these Dodgers and make it a series. At the beginning, when we were previewing it, I said, this is going to be a fight. The Brewers are awesome. Do not take them lightly. I guess take them lightly, as horrible as that sounds. I don't want to say that. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching this team this year. I'm just so disappointed in their performance so far. I know the Dodgers are great. The Phillies performed better than this team. And maybe the Phillies just are better. But this feels like a different playing field.
Well, it could be a mirror of what we saw last year, where in retrospect, that series against the Padres was the toughest challenge that they faced. Like a hard-fought 4-game set against the Phillies might be the most they're pushed. Who knows? Yeah. I don't think anybody would be shocked at this point if the Dodgers win out. I mean, that's not a crazy outcome at all. And you're looking at this Brewers team, and you're right. I mean, they were the best team in baseball. They had the best record, and they just have not looked like that. And I don't know, while I hear you as far as they have to do more, I still, just with the pitching performances the Dodgers have gotten from their starters, I still feel like this is more the Dodgers just being so difficult than it's the Brewers who haven't been. It's a combination, but I feel like the Dodgers are just winning this series more than the Brewers are completely losing it. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's a combination of both. Blake Snell faced the minimum. Blake Snell's a great pitcher. The minimum in Milwaukee. Yamamoto is a great pitcher. Jackson Chourio led the game off with a home run. What'd they do after? He went 9 innings of 2-hit ball. Again, he's a great pitcher. They put up 3 runs against him. They ousted him before he finished the first inning, the first time they faced him. They got destroyed by him. And then Glasnow. I know the shadows. We all see them. But then the shadows disappeared. And that suspect Dodger bullpen doesn't seem so suspect anymore. But were they all so unbelievably nasty that the Brewers just had no chance? No, I refuse to say that. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the Dodgers.
No, yeah.
I just feel like people are now just giving all the credit to the Dodgers and not talking about a 97-win team laying down.
No, it's fair. I mean, like you said, it's a historically inept offense through 3 games. So, I mean, you can't ignore that. And I think you're right. If there could be a world where the Brewers were, racking up 10 hits, but the Dodgers just pitching themselves out of jams, it's been completely quiet from that Brewers offense. And that's not the identity we've seen all season. So I think it is a combination of both. I think it's like a mental mountain you got to climb when you are in this type of a series with the Dodgers and you lost that first game at home. And then it's just every single game, here's another absolute ace. If you're just talking about best stuff in baseball, I mean, if you said these 4 starting pitchers just at their best, health is all lined up, was it 4 of the best, 15 pitchers in baseball? 4 of the best 20? I mean, it's
4 of the best 20 probably.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a snowball effect where it makes the Brewers look that much worse. But you're right. I mean, it's historically inept, as you said. It's 9 hits in 3 games. It's crazy.
The last thing I want to say before we preview tomorrow's game, which is going to be tough because does anybody have any idea who's pitching for the Brewers? I mean, it's going to be.
Peter,
I think I'm opening for them tomorrow. I think I'm opening for them tomorrow.
No, you got to put Ashby back out there. It works so well. Just throw him right back out there. I mean, come on,
Yeah, and then it's going to go to Quintana. I have said the whole time, though, Quintana's going to win them that game. It's going to be him just grinding it out. That's where they get the win, but, who knows? One thing that I wanted to talk about that I see on social media that's just really pissing me off. People are starting to, when the Dodgers get this good, I understand. You don't want it if you're a fan of another team or you're a fan of the Brewers, you're a fan of the Phillies, or you just have general hatred for the Dodgers. I understand. They're now the new Yankees getting all the hate, and that's just what comes with being the best team when you spend the most money. But now people are saying we should have a lockout now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's ridiculous. First of all, I always think that having a team that's this level of a consistent winner, the team that everybody hates, I think it's always good for sports. Personally,
it's amazing for sports. The NBA, they were at their best when Jordan was winning 6. They were at their best when it was LeBron versus Curry. Major League Baseball was at their best when the Yankees were winning all of those World Series. This is another World Series, if the Dodgers are in it, which they most likely will, that's going to set viewership records. Last year's was the same thing. Everybody always says, I want a Rangers versus Diamondback series. No, you don't. You don't actually. Maybe you do, the person who's listening, but general baseball fans don't. And it's reflected in the numbers. So you could say you want the underdogs in it. It makes you feel better, but you don't actually watch it. You either watch to witness greatness with the Dodgers or you hate watch them. Both are perfectly reasonable, but that's what you're doing. You're going to turn on the World Series to watch the Dodgers. And about the lockout stuff, people are acting as if the Dodgers cheated their way to get here. Now, the deferments, I've been pissed off about that before. I think that's bullshit. Like that's like they're going through contracts and they are, I mean, are you kidding me? You're going to defer all this money? That seems unfair. I get that. It's not. Anyone could do it, but it still pisses me off. But I have receipts, Fink, because we post about all of these moves. When Yamamoto signed with the Dodgers, our comment section was ablaze. And I would like to think that our comment sections, people who interact with our content, are smarter baseball fans than others. I can't imagine other publications of what their comment sections look like. But I know is what ours do. And I know 80%, maybe 90, because the only other ones were Dodger fans defending it. How can you give that much money to a guy who's never pitched before? What a terrible contract. No, they just knew he was going to be really good, and they gave him that much money, and look at it now. While everyone was after Juan Soto, our teams included, we were in the middle of a bidding war. What did the Dodgers do? They gave $182 million to Blake Snell. It's about the same what the Yankees gave to Max Fried. They're just smarter. Roki Sasaki cost like $12 million. Now, did they control his market the entire time? I don't know, but it was $12 million. And when he was down in the minor leagues, all of you thought he was a bust. They are a smarter organization. Are we going to go in a lockout because they're smarter than the rest of us? That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Now, you can still hate them. I get it. I totally get it. You hate the team that's on top. You hate the team that spends the most money. It feels unfair because of how good they are. I get it. Continue to hate them. But don't discount it like that when I know most of you over the years have said these moves are dumb, or even when Blake Snell signed. I remember I made the video. I was in California. I just gone grocery shopping and I made the reaction video in my car. And I couldn't believe the comment section because I thought it was a great signing when it happened. The comment section was saying, walks too many people. He gets hurt. 182 million. The Dodgers, like, now they're just spending. How do you feel now? How do you feel about all of the comments? And again, I'm talking to you as if you did any of it. We're just talking to the general baseball sphere. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Hate them all you want, but to discount it like this, I think is just foolish and childish.
I think there's a couple things that go into it. Obviously, when Shohei Ohtani picks you, it makes everything easier. It has that kind of laid the inroads to get Yamamoto and Sasaki. But the Dodgers have a decade plus now of just doing everything right, developing better than any franchise in baseball. Yep. So they always have the assets to make the trades they need. And yeah, I think this past offseason, we were really getting to that point where every move they made, people were flipping out. Like I remember the Tanner Scott signing, like that set people off. They pick up Kirby Yates, that set people off. Now those moves didn't work. They just have so much talent, it doesn't matter. But it's been a long road of just doing everything better than everybody that they now have more options than everybody. And so, it's this year, it all has kind of fell into place perfectly. I mean, there's a world with Glasnow and Snell that they weren't healthy, and this is a lot harder, but they are healthy, and this rotation is locked and loaded, and they were able to now piece together the bullpen. But it's not like they're guaranteed now for the next 5 years to just keep winning, because you never know in a given season. There was a lot of points this season, like we were talking about, where they did not look like the best team in baseball. It's just now here in October, they got healthy at the right time, and it's looking, as unbalanced as it can be. And that's what's causing all of the outrage.
Couldn't agree more. Before we break down game 4 of Brewers Dodgers, a quick whoosh. Whoosh.
I like the quick whoosh. That was good.
I love the quick whoosh. I mean, this is going to be quick. Shohei Ohtani is on the mound. None of the Dodgers bullpen arms threw too many pitches, so they'll be fine. It's probably going to be Quintana. Maybe it's just all hands on deck. Are the Dodgers going to see Adbert Uribe for the 400th time this series in 3 games? Are they not going to hit him? Are they not going to hit whatever Brewers bullpen arm they throw out there? Who would the Dodgers be afraid of? Trevor McGill in the 9th? That means the Brewers are already winning. How are they getting a lead? And I hate saying it like this because it feels so damn disrespectful to the Brewers. It does. And I hate talking about them like this. I'm just so damn disappointed. Now, anything can happen. It's hard to beat the Brewers 4 times in a row. It just is. But if there's anyone that can beat them 4 times in a row, it's the Dodgers. And I wish I could, Shohei Ohtani has only recorded 10 plate appearances against the Brewers' current roster. The shadows are not going to affect this game as much because now the Dodgers get kind of the late slate. Well, it's not really late for them on the West Coast. They're going to be 5:08 first pitch. On the East Coast, 8:08 first pitch. But in this game, they were in the afternoon where the shadows really affect Dodger Stadium and can, obviously dampen offensive production. But the Dodgers had no issue. So it's... How did the Brewers win this game?
I think it's like the bullpen chaos, and they're able to just keep the Dodgers off the board. And I mean, is there a world where Ohtani has a bad start? I think it's possible. I think
he gave up 3 earned runs against the Phillies. That was the worst start of the postseason for the Dodgers.
But it was still a quality start. He still went 6.
Yeah, I mean, it was still a good start. And then he shut it down after because all the runs came early.
That's what they need. They need one big inning on Ohtani, and then they just need bullpen chaos, I guess. And Quintana gets 10 outs in the middle of the game. It feels like it's going to be a sweep. It really does.
Isn't there a part of you that feels like Ohtani's going to bounce back?
I think Ohtani's going to somehow end up with the NLCS MVP just off of like a game 4 start, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, I just think he just ends up getting it. Even though you might look back and say, Yamamoto's start was probably better. Snell's start was probably better, but it's Ohtani, and it was a closeout game, and he went like 7 scoreless and struck out 10, and they just give it to Ohtani because it's Ohtani. And he homered,
They can't give it to Ohtani. He hasn't done enough of this series. He's barely showed up. But like, if he throws 7 shutty and hits a home run, what are we going to say?
What if he had a Little League game, though? Like, what if he has a Little League game for it? Does Ohtani get the MVP if he has a Little League game? He goes 4 for 4, and he pitches 7 scoreless, and he homers.
Brewer, if he does that, maybe we do need a lockout.
Okay. Just immediately, right? We don't even let them get everybody out.
If he throws 7 shutty with 10 Ks and hits a home run, watch him hit for the cycle too, steal a base. I mean, if that happens, yeah, maybe we do need a lockout. How did the Brewers win this game? Quintana has to dominate in the middle innings. They have to pull out an opener that shuts the door early. You have to find a way to scrape runs against Ohtani. Your defense has to be impeccable. Your base running has to be perfect. Pat Murphy needs to call a perfect game. And you might win. I can't believe I'm saying this about the Brewers, dude. Like, I know I've said this 7,000 times already. It's just like, I guess I was higher on the Brewers than I was even the Phillies going into the postseason. So when the Dodgers beat the Phillies in 4, I was like, all right, the Brewers are going to actually give them a fight. And now it's like, okay, it's not even close.
I got one thing on what you're saying there, because you say Quintana's got to dominate those middle innings. Last year, Jose Quintana was as hot as possible. He had like an ERA in the 1s in September, and he did not give up a run across his first 2 starts, and not an earned run. Across his first 2 starts, 11 scoreless, or 11 innings, 1 unearned run. Against the Dodgers, he gave up 5 in 3 1/3. So I think if you're at the point where you're pinning your hopes to Quintana at 36 years old, I don't think that there's a real chance. But it's baseball, so for all we know, it will be Quintana that shoves, and maybe the Brewers end up making it a gentleman's sweep.
Final score prediction?
9-0 Dodgers. Ohtani wins the MVP. The Little League game's going to happen.
Ugh. Dodgers win 5-1.
That sounds right.
But that's like not a close game.
It would be great if we got one, like just one really close Brewers game that goes into, if it's like 4-3 and hopefully the Brewers can sneak it. I would love to at least see the Brewers show what they've been all year and at least have a game where they can stick it to the Dodgers.
It's better for my bank account for the Dodgers to win this game. I don't care. I want the Brewers to win this game.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out. Find a way to do it, Milwaukee. All right, before we talk Mariners Blue Jays, I want to talk to you guys about our friends at Lids. Right now, get out your phones. If you haven't yet, it's an absolute no-brainer to do so. Text the word baseball in all caps. That's the word baseball in all caps to 29017. What do you get? 20% off your first purchase at Lids. You want to go grab a hat, they're doing the stitching. You can get just baseball if you want stitched on the side. You want some hobby boxes. They have so much stuff at Lids. It's one of my favorite stores. Like I said this as soon as we partnered with them. I was like, this is the coolest partnership ever. I've been to so many Lids. I have like 600 hats in my closet, and half of them are from Lids. So a reminder, let's text baseball to 29017 in order to get 20% off your first purchase. But also, release event for Bowman Chrome. If anybody is in the Scottsdale area, head to your local Lids at 7014 East Camelback Road. Again, that's in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're doing a really cool event. And by we, I mean Aram will be joined by Yankees prospect Bryce Cunningham. They're going to rip some 2025 Bowman Chrome baseball. They're going to be taking pictures. It's going to be an awesome, awesome experience. And you can use your 20% off code when you get there. That's again on Saturday, October 18th at 3 p.m. A reminder, Lids store in Scottsdale, Arizona at 7014 East Camelback Road. All right, before we talk Blue Jays Mariners, Let me get the whoosh. Let me get the whoosh ready. A quick whoosh. A quick whoosh. All right, let's talk Game 4, Jays Mariners. Josh Naylor opened the scoring with a home run in the second against Max Scherzer, and that would be one of the last times we heard from the Mariners offense. Jays grabbed the lead back in the third on an Andres Jimenez home run, and they never looked back. In that same inning, Toronto loaded the bases, and Gabe Spire walked in a run after Luis Castillo lasted just 2.1 innings. Runs kept coming. In the fourth, Springer drove in a run on a double, and then a wild pitch brought in George Springer for the fifth run. The last Mariners run came in the sixth, and by last, I mean their second, as Gino Suarez singled, but Naylor got thrown out at third via an Addison Barger rocket. A big no-no. You cannot make the third out there, but does it matter? Vladdy hit his fifth home run of the postseason, joining Albert Pujols as the only first baseman 26 years or younger to hit 5+ home runs in a postseason. I thought that was a really cool stat that our excellent Twitter team brought up. And to end it, Andres Jimenez stayed red hot, ripping a single up the middle that scored the eighth run, and that was that. Mad Max, 41 years old, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned, 5 Ks, passes Roger Clemens for the fifth most strikeouts in postseason history. Going into this, in his last 14 postseason innings, allowed 14 earned runs. But tonight, at 41 years old, fantastic. 12 swings and misses. Curveball and slider were working. He even touched 96.5 miles an hour. On yesterday's show, Jack and I were talking about it, and we both said there's no number to point to tell you Max Scherzer is going to do well. There is no analytical argument to explain why Max Scherzer can have success against this Mariners offense. There was none, even dating back to 2023, because you might think, well, he had a ton of time to prepare. In 2023, his last start was on September 12th. Then he pitched in October. First start, 4 innings, 5 earned against Houston. So I didn't even have that argument. Well, at least he's rested. Now he's 2 years older than he was back then. Maybe you could say, well, that Astros offense was better. Whatever. Maybe it wasn't. Mariners offense is great. What a performance. I thought he's probably going to go once through the order, maybe twice, and they'll hand it off to Bassett. Absolutely not. John Schneider came out in the fifth, try and go get him. Told him to fuck off. Like, get the hell out of here. This is my start. I love Max Scherzer. He is a beautiful psychopath, different color eyes, staring straight into the souls of those Mariners hitters, and they wanted no part of it. What a performance.
You really have to, at this point, just appreciate whenever you see these greats get an opportunity on the big stage and they deliver. It's just, there's something that's a little more exciting for longtime baseball fans who have seen this guy's whole career, no doubt about it, first ballot Hall of Famer, and he still has it in him to rise to the moment. So much fun. I don't even think that this necessarily means, if the Jays advance and Scherzer gets the ball in the World Series or at the end of this series, that he's going to do it again. Like, that might be the only time that we see that ever again, maybe in the playoffs.
He's 41, and it's okay if that's the only time he ever does it again.
But we got to see it one more time, and we got to see him tell his manager to fuck off one more time, and he strikes out the batter and he gets out of the inning. He's just and he goes back out for the next inning too. I wanted him to get through that sixth also, but
I know.
At the end of the day, still pretty unbelievable. I don't think anybody would have said, "Oh yeah, Scherzer's going to get you 17 outs." So it was an awesome performance from Mad Max, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching him still being able to, when these guys are on and they're just great pitchers. It's like when years ago when Adam Wainwright would turn back the clock, in that wild card game, if I remember right. You never know, one of these guys still has it in him to put together a great start.
And when Scherzer got taken out, in the sixth inning, I thought to myself, 38-year-old Scherzer, even 39-year-old Scherzer would have probably even said, get back in the dugout for a second time. I think 41-year-old Scherzer was like, all right, I'm probably done. I'm getting a little tired out here. And it's totally understandable. The man is 41 years old. I love when they flash that graphic up with the two quarterbacks who were playing on Thursday Night Football. I don't even know who ended up winning that game, but I saw that both teams had 30 points. Like, The old men reign supreme. Shut up, Max Scherzer. And he is the story of this game. But Vladdy, I've said it about the Blue Jays throughout the postseason. If Vladdy is elevating, the Blue Jays can go win any game against anyone. Because in the first 2 games of the series, I'm going to cite the same stat I did in the last episode because it's so jarring. From Paul Hembakaitis, our guy Hembo, negative 21 degree launch angle in the first 2 games of the series. That's out of this world. Vladdy hit a ground ball today. It went 4 degrees. Like, put that in the back of your... That is driving the ball directly into the ground. Watch out, worms. Seriously. Because he's hitting it 100 miles an hour every time. And then even in the first AB of game 3, negative 26 degree launch angle. Still gets on base. But then he elevates. And then in this game, another home run. The guy hits the ball too damn hard. It's not about the type of pitching. Like, I don't even care who he's facing. As long as he elevates the baseball, he's going to drive it for extra bases, and he's going to hit home runs. And I'm telling you, this Blue Jays offense revolves around him like he's the sun. Like he is the middle of a solar system. They feed off this guy. And I think the evidence is clear. Vladdy doesn't have a good game, Blue Jays don't win. Vladdy has a good game, they win. It's just that black and white. Because not only his production, it's the way that everybody branches off. Varsho starts to get going. Kirk starts to get going. Ernie Clement, I don't think he cares. I think he is in his own league where he's just going to get a single every AB. If you throw him outside, he's going to punch it to that side. If you throw him inside, he's going to pull the baseball. Now, he's not going to hit many home runs, but he's going to get out first no matter what. So maybe he's different, but everybody else in the lineup, they work in lockstep. And then if you have Andres Jimenez hitting home runs in the 9-hole, putting up a 2,000 OPS in the series, that's how you put up 8 runs. That's how you put up 10 runs, no matter who's on the mound. And that's why the Blue Jays are dangerous, and that's why the series is tied 2-2.
It really feels a lot like those Red Sox teams with Big Papi, where you just have this one guy who the whole offense orbits around. He's getting the big hit every time. And if he is this level of postseason performer, I mean, you could see the Blue Jays win multiple World Series across this contract, because if he's going to elevate his game like this, he can put a team on his back and carry them to a title. Now, if they get past the Mariners, can he do it against this Dodgers team and that pitching staff? We'll see. But if there's any hitter on the planet right now that's not going to be phased by those aces, it's Vladdy. Also, we got to shout out Andres Jimenez for his last couple games. I mean, just all year, a lot of people criticizing that pickup, and it's worked out for them in these big games. Andres Jimenez has stepped up when it's mattered the most.
It's so funny how the playoffs change perspectives on players, because Andres Jimenez did not have a good season.
No,
he didn't. That was objectively not a great move.
No.
But you get a couple good games in the playoffs, and Blue Jays fans are like, whatever. Like, whatever. You could have your money. You've earned it. But that's how big the postseason is. And it is for a Blue Jays team, because I've also seen some sentiment on social media, people calling the Blue Jays not an underdog. What do you mean? Going into the season, BetMGM had their win total at 76.5. 76.5. They were projected to finish last in the division. Last. Maybe you didn't listening. Maybe you had the Rays. I don't think you had the Orioles. But you probably had the Blue Jays finishing 4th or 5th. Look at them now. This is objectively an underdog story. They're coming from behind. They are an underdog in this series. Like going down 2-0. Deck stacked against them. Since the 2-3-2 format came to Major League Baseball, as if it came on a boat. I don't know why I said came to Major League Baseball. Since they adopted the 2-3-2 format, only 3 teams have gotten past after losing the first 2 games at home. Again, that was the 85 Royals, the 86 Mets, and the 96 Yankees. Hasn't been done since 1996. And they are in a position with Kevin Gausman on the mound to do just that. because then you get 2 games in Toronto. But the more I say that is that actually better for the Mariners? Because nobody wins their home games in the playoffs anymore, except the Dodgers, where they just win everywhere.
I mean, this is such a weird series because you couldn't have predicted it to go this way at all. After 2 games, we're all saying the Mariners got this thing wrapped up, and now it's flipped, and everyone's thinking, well, I guess maybe the Blue Jays are suddenly, in the driver's seat. We don't know how Game 5 is going to go. I mean, Game 5, the pendulum can swing back to the Mariners. Like we were mentioning before, I just hope we get a really tight competitive game. Can we get one? Can we get a couple in this series? But maybe these lineups are just feast or famine, and it ends up continuing this way. But the Blue Jays right now, they got momentum. We'll see if they can hold on to it.
But here's the thing, though. The series ain't over. Mariners could easily win tomorrow. It's so hard to beat the Mariners at T-Mobile. It is. I know the Blue Jays have made it look easy, but it is hard. Here's what's concerning me, though, about the Mariners, because nothing about their pitching concerns me. It doesn't. Like George Kirby, I think he was dealing with a finger thing and ran into an angry Blue Jays offense. It happens. Luis Castillo, that's not great. That wasn't a great performance today. But I'm giving him a pass. Like, my main takeaway is I'm not worried about the Mariners pitching. I am worried about this offense, though. It's not Cal Raleigh. It's not Julio. It's not Jorge Polanco, and it's not Josh Naylor. But Gino Suarez has done absolutely nothing. And he didn't do anything when he came over to Seattle. So what makes me think that he's going to snap out of it? Dominic Canzone just got his first hit. He's hitting 7th. JP Crawford is playing good defense. Not swinging it well. And Leo Rivas, he got a start tonight. It was great. I like that story. He got a walk, but, he's not in there for offense. But Randy Rosarina at the top of the lineup. Playoff Randy. Playoff Randy, where are you? You're hitting 158. Playoff Randy. If you don't hit above the Mendoza line, that name is taken away.
Yeah.
You can't be called Playoff Randy and hit 158. Would I be as hard on him if he wasn't Playoff Randy? Now, to his credit, there's a reason he is. Right? He came into this playoffs with like a 1,200 OPS in his postseason career. He's awesome and normally rises to the moment. We even saw it in the World Baseball Classic. But these at-bats, struck out twice tonight. Thought he looked terrible. Now he's had some stolen bases, but he's hitting at the end of the day 158. Like, the Mariners lineup, it can't just be those 4 guys in the middle. The reason the Blue Jays are so explosive, the reason the Dodgers are so good is because 5 through 9 are almost as good as 1 through 4. You elongate innings. It's not just, now we got past those 4 in the Mariners lineup. Now we're good until they come up again. And now we're waiting on them to make the impact. They can't do it every time. They're going to get pitched around. The relievers are going to come in specialized for them. And they're still playing well. Cal Raleigh is having a great offensive series. He's hitting .314 with an OPS over 1,000. We ain't worried about you, Cal. We know you're a train engine. We know, Julio, you're awesome. We know if there's ever a runner in scoring position. Do you want anyone else besides Jorge Polanco? It's the bottom of the lineup. And Gino Suarez and Randy Rosarina, you got to show up because the Blue Jays will just jump on you. And you have to be able to overcome it. You have to be able to prove you can win a high-scoring game. Like, I don't want your only wins to be 4-2. I want you to win a 7-5 game. Can you win a 7-5 game? Can you win these games when your starters are average? Because the Blue Jays offense is that good. Can you win those games? Because if you can't, you're going home. But again, I want to make something clear. I think they can win those games. I am not taking Seattle out of the series. It's 2-2. They have Bryce Miller at home tomorrow, who looked great. Shut down the Blue Jays already. He can do it again. And then you're going to get Brian Wu back. He was already available out of the bullpen. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to use him. And then it's still Gilbert. Right? It's still, would Kirby go? Am I forgetting somebody? Would Kirby, who would go? Yeah, probably Kirby game 7.
I mean, game 7, it's going to be all hands on deck if it gets that far.
Yeah.
But he might get the start. The one thing I do worry about this Mariners team beyond just the offense, like that bullpen has gotten a lot of work. It feels obviously the 15-inning game, but I just wonder the more that the Blue Jays are getting a chance to see these relievers, like I feel like they really do need the starters to rise to the occasion, and they need, someone to go 6 innings. I think Castillo getting knocked out early just put him in a bad spot for the rest of the series, because the more that the Blue Jays are getting a chance to see all these arms and they start seeing them again and again and again, I just wonder at some point, does this Blue Jays lineup just become too much to overcome, because they are just giving you great at bats, up and down the lineup. So we'll see. But like you said, it's not at all in the Blue, like the Blue Jays don't have this series wrapped up.
No,
anywhere
it's now
close.
Even. It's literally it's now we're back to ground zero.
It's now it's a 3-game set. It's
yes.
a 3-game set
with 1 game in Seattle and 2 games in Toronto. And it's Gausman, and I'd like to say he's Savage. The Mariners already hit him. This is what I want in a championship series. Yeah. 2 teams with strengths and weaknesses and matchups we've already seen. Who's going to bounce back? Who's going to continue to shove? Is it Bryce Miller? Is it Kevin Gausman? Let's talk Game 5. Who you got?
And I just got to say, you set it up so well. I just want to say, you know what they're playing for? They're playing for a chance to lose in 5 in the World Series. It's just what so much on the line. Who's going to win Game 5? The way this series has gone, I think momentum maybe will shift again, and I think the Mariners can hopefully, for the sake of the Marine Lair Pod and everybody out there in Seattle, hopefully they can get one at home here. I don't like seeing these sad TikToks. It's just depressing. So that's what I'm hoping to see. And I think
I love those guys. I even texted them how I think their content has been fantastic, but it's kind of funny. Like Lyle and TJ are funny dudes. So when I see them get sad, I assume it's the same for me. People like my content, but they love to see me upset. You even said you were pissed when we logged on, when we did our show when the Yankees won. You were like, damn it. You still like my content, but you want to see me upset. It is objectively funny to see them upset because I know they're good dudes. And I know that sadness is real, which weirdly makes it funnier. Maybe that makes me a bad guy.
I mean, I would say prior to this postseason, probably 75% of my Just Baseball show appearances have been when the Mets are in just the worst possible situation. It's like Peter shoots me the text, hey, you want to come on and talk about it?
Why now, Peter, after we've lost 10 in a row? Really, you have? I don't know. I was on vacation or something. I didn't notice that the Mets lost 10 in a row. So you're going with the Mariners?
I think the Mariners get one.
I'm going with Toronto. Not confident in it. I got to dive deeper into the morning. I might have a money line wager. I got to think about it. I think Gausman's better than Bryce Miller. I do. And you made a great point earlier that stuck with me, and it was something I was thinking about during the game, but you put it into words. This Mariners bullpen, I love the talent. But are you telling me Bizzardo is starting to crack? Are you telling me Spire is starting to crack? They just saw Brash. Does Brash crack tomorrow? Now, if they have a lead and Munoz comes in, the Mariners are going to win. But can you get a lead and can you keep a lead into the 9th? I said it after that game. Jack picked the Mariners in Game 4. Wrong again. Shocker to anyone. Not at all. And I went with the Blue Jays because I said you can't stop this Jays offense once it gets rolling. Now, after this game, Jays have an off day. I would not be surprised to see the Mariners still win the series. I really wouldn't. They can hit you savage again, and then in Game 7, anything could happen. But without an off day, keeping the foot on the gas, how can I not go with the Jays? And yes, there's a comment in here. Hoffman, can I? Yeah, I'll show it. Hoffman looked good today, too, against the heart of the Mariners lineup. I agree with you. Now, it's a little bit different. He had a 6-run lead. It's a little bit easier of an inning. But you're right. He did look good. But I'm not even picking it because I like the Jays bullpen. I'll be honest. I don't. I think they're okay. I think they're pretty good. The offense, I'm obsessed with. Kevin Gausman, I'm obsessed with. Bieber looked great. That's what I love about the Jays. Because there's such a good offense that I don't even care about the pitching sometimes. When you put up 8, I mean, who cares? So I'm going to go with the Jays here. I think they take all 3. I think their offense is too hot to pick against. Like, there's no shot I'm betting Mariners tomorrow. There just isn't. Will I bet Blue Jays is the question. And I'm not sure. But then the lines are going to come out. And if the Mariners have the value on their side, they have the value on their side. Then maybe I will. So I don't know. But right now on the show, I'm picking the Jays to win.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I could definitely see Jays take 5, Mariners take game 6, and then, we get that game 7 we all want. So I could absolutely see that happening.
I so want a game 7. I want this to go all the way down to the wire.
Because again, we're not getting a game 7 in the World Series.
Yeah. Wait, maybe we'll talk about it when the time comes. Thank you, Fink, for joining. Quick, plug anything you want real quick before we say goodbye to everybody.
Well, letting everyone know if they want to stream tomorrow night, Elijah and I are going to hop on and give you guys a stream. So if the series ends tomorrow, we'll have something out for you guys so you can get this reactionary content you're getting used to. We're going to fill in tomorrow. So check out the stream tomorrow night.
You guys are the best. Make sure to tune into that. And if you would be so kind, if you are listening to this after the fact on audio, the best way to support the Just Baseball show is leave a written review or just press that 5-star button. And if you're watching this on YouTube, again, thank you everybody for joining the stream. Let's pull up this comment. What does that say, Fink? What does that say?
It says Peter knows ball, I guess. Yeah.
That's a great way to end it. Brody, I couldn't agree with you more. So yeah, if everybody's watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, and of course, comment down below. You disagree? Agree? Let us know in the YouTube comments. For Ryan Finkelstein, I'm Peter Apple. You'll see Fink and Elijah Evans tomorrow. Be on the look for that. And with that, thank you, everybody.